So welcome to my channel. So ever since the carer pathway was introduced in the UK over a year ago, there's been quite a lot of contention, over this particular pathway. For example, how many people have been recruited? Is the UK still recruiting? Are they not recruiting overseas? When are they going to stop recruiting? And for some reason, in the last 24 hours, I have received so many messages from many of you saying, Melvis, will the UK stop recruiting carers in 2023? So I thought I should do this video just to give you some data, give you some more information about this particular pathway. So I'm going to be giving you the statistics, how many carers do they need, what are the vacancy rates like, and what does this mean for you? Because I do understand that you may be watching this and you're somebody who is still overseas, planning to move to the UK as a carer, or maybe you're already in the UK as a carer and you're thinking, what is my life going to look like? So that's what I'm going to be talking about here. So if you're new to the channel, it's such a privilege to have you on here. If you're a returning subscriber, I do appreciate the time you take to watch these videos. And look, I hope that you're actually implementing all of this information that I talk about, because I'm all about implementation. And just before I get started, I'm going to be doing a live session sometime at the end of this month, where I'm going to be talking about different pathways that are available to you to move to the UK. And most importantly, if you're already in the UK, what are the pathways that you can use to progress in your career? Because look, I moved to the UK 10 years ago. I was a band one carer, working for the NHS. I think I was earning like £15,000 per year. And I've been able to progress through to nursing, to now working as an advanced nurse practitioner, which is the most senior clinical nursing position in the UK. And so I just want to tell you that, there are so many career progression pathways in the UK that you can pursue. And, check the comment section. You're going to see a link to my newsletter. Join that newsletter, and then I'll make sure that I send the link to you to attend that live session, because it's not going to be on YouTube, it's going to be on Zoom, because I want it to be interactive. I don't want all these distractions that are on here. So you 100% want to join that newsletter. Check the comment section. I'm going to drop a link there. And also, if you've got a question you want to ask, you can use that newsletter and I'll reply back to you, or you can just leave your questions down in the comment section and I'll also just look at them and answer those questions for you. So we're going to be talking about the carer pathway. Look, I cannot talk about this pathway without giving you data, so real data. So what is actually going on? First, I'm going to tell you that there are still 100% actively recruiting carers in the UK, whether from overseas or from within the UK. So there are quite a few changes that have happened since this pathway was introduced. I remember, when the pathway was initially introduced, I've got a private coaching program where I support nurses, carers, student nurses with career progression in the UK. And I was supporting overseas candidates who wanted to move to the UK as carers. It was pretty easy, then to just find a job as a carer. It was straightforward. You just applied, you had an interview, and you moved over. But right now, it's become incredibly challenging, and I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why it's become so challenging getting jobs as a carer if you're overseas. Because you may be thinking, look, Melvis, if you're saying that they're still recruiting, why am I getting all these unfortunate emails? Why am I not able to get a job as a carer? Look, there are so many reasons for that, and that's something that it's a whole kind of worms, which I don't really want to start right now. And I'll focus on the data when it comes to the actual recruitment for carers. The reality is that the UK currently has 165,000 vacancies when it comes to carers. And this is from the Department of Health and Social Care in the UK. So 165,000 vacancies that they have for carers. In the last 1 year alone, that's 2021, 2022, the number of carers in the UK has reduced by 50,000, which means that carers, there are 50,000 less carers in the UK, than there were 2-3 years ago. And this is despite the massive recruitment that has been from overseas. Now, you may be wondering, if you're saying that I've recruited all these carers, where have they gone? The reality of it is that when you're a carer in the UK, the pay is too low. And with the COVID-19 and the economic crisis, look, people have realized that the truth is, you may be passionate about care, you may be dedicated to be a carer, but that does not pay bills. You've still got bills to pay like any other citizen, and so many people just leave and find better paying jobs. And like for me, I support people with career progression in the UK, so I really do not hesitate to encourage the carers who are part of my private coaching program, and even if you're not, to say, look, there's more that you can do for yourself in the UK. To put this into context, if you're a carer in the UK, you're going to be earning £20,000 per year. That is absolutely nothing. It is such poor pay. So £20,000 per year at the start of your career, that's how much you earn. If you're a carer for 20 years in the UK, for example, you're only going to be earning £21,000 per year, which is ridiculous, which means that from a carer to a senior carer, the difference is £1,000 over the course of your career. And what this means, to put this into perspective, is at the start of your career, say I'm a brand new carer, I've got no experience, I'm starting today, I'll be earning 20,000 per year. Another carer who's been in the job for 20 years in the UK will only be earning £21,000 maximum. And that is how it works. And this is the reason why so many people leave with the crisis, with prices going up. Most people have just left. And even the overseas candidates that come up, many of them don't stay, obviously, for a long time as well. Like I'm saying, there are 4 carers in my private coaching program that moved to the UK last year. They're starting their nursing training this January, which means that these are 4 carers that are going to be leaving the system as well, to get into nursing. While you may think that this is not significant because it's 4 people, there are many other people who are going through similar pathways, and it's the best thing that you can do, because the truth is that the pay isn't good. And also, the Department for Health and Social Care says that by 2035, they need to recruit at least 480,000 extra carers. Look, 480,000 is quite a lot. So I'm going to let you judge for yourself. Will they stop recruiting in 2023 if they need to recruit 480,000 more carers, or will they continue to recruit carers? It's for you to do the maths and see. One of the main reasons as well why, despite the massive recruitment of carers, they're still so short-staffed is that most of the carers, in fact, the real data says 28% of carers are over the age of 55. What this means is that within the next 10 years, you have about 30% of carers that are retiring. So as they are retiring, this means that more and more carers are needed in order to cover for these numbers. And the truth is, as you recruit more, more of them are leaving and more are also retiring. It's the same thing with nursing. Most of the nurses in the UK are aged over the age of 55, which is one of the reasons why they constantly need nurses from overseas. This is because of the aging population, not only of the people, but of the staff as well. So this is another reason why, as you recruit more carers, more are kind of going out. It's like an empty bucket where you're pouring in more water, but the bucket is full of holes and everything is just leaking out. That is how it works when it comes to carers, nurses, doctors. And that is because these professions in the UK, not only are they incredibly stressful, but truth be told, they're very, very low paid. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I just want you to hit subscribe right now. Turn on that notification button because you want to be the first to be notified every single time when I drop a new video on here on YouTube. Also, if you haven't joined my newsletter, I send you the best information when it comes to career opportunities in the UK. And also, obviously, the live session, if you do want to attend, then you need to obviously join through the newsletter, so I can send you that link once it's all set up. Also, if you need that one-to-one support, whether it's with career progression in the UK, as a nurse, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm a nurse back home, now I'm working as a carer in the UK, or want to come as a carer, how can I get back into nursing? Or maybe you've got no prior healthcare experience, but you just want to progress into nursing, for example, or into other non-clinical healthcare positions. Then my private coaching program is where I can actually support you on a one-to-one basis, obviously, as well, and to give you that clarity that you need in order to pursue these pathways. Because the truth is, there are so many opportunities in the UK, but if you don't know how to find them, it can be incredibly challenging. And so many of these carer positions, they are very overwhelming for the people that come to do them. Incredibly overwhelming. For example, with domiciliary care, some of the carers find themselves, they have to pay for fuel, which is very expensive. They're working from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. and they're only paid for like 8 hours. Some are paid for like 7 hours. And so, they end up just leaving, rightfully so. And this is why, even though they're recruiting more carers, but the truth is, like I said, it's like a leaking bucket. So I'm going to let you decide. Do you think they're going to stop recruiting carers anytime soon? Do you think they're going to carry on recruiting carers? Or do you think this is the end of the pathway? Also, data from the NHS currently shows that some people, healthy people, are staying in hospital for as long as 9 months in an acute NHS hospital because they don't have where to be discharged to. They are not able to go home because there are no carers to care for these people in their own homes. Because reality in the UK is that people are living longer, and as people are living longer, the need for care, is more. Also, most of the people that are living longer don't necessarily want to go to like nursing homes. They want to stay in their own homes. They want to live in their own houses, in their own environments. And what this means is that the need for domiciliary care is more. And if, as a recruitment agency, for example, as a care agency, if you don't have the carers, you cannot take on the contracts. You cannot get those people out from hospital. So these are some of the challenges. That means that the recruitment for carers only really increases. And that's why you see that currently, as we speak, there are 165,000 vacancies for carers in the UK. And like I said, in the last 12 months, the number of carers in the UK has reduced, so not increased. They have reduced by 50,000. And this is directly from the Department of Health and Social Care. So again, you can see how the numbers are really, really staggering. And also, one of the reasons why carers are leaving is also because of the minimum wage. So many agencies pay carers just over £9. But recently, the Minister of Finance in England announced, as well as the Prime Minister obviously, announced that they're going to increase minimum wage. What this means is that anybody who is in the UK over the age of 23 cannot earn less than £10.42. So if as a carer you're earning £9 something, and the minimum wage for the country is £10.42, what does that mean? That means that with the anxiety, the pressure, the emotional involvement that comes with being a carer, it's almost not worth doing. And what happens is that many people simply leave the carer jobs and do other jobs. For example, working in supermarkets. If you work in a supermarket in the UK, you're going to earn a lot more money. You're going to have better working conditions. You're going to have, better pay, more respect than you would do as a carer, because healthcare in the UK currently is crumbling, and that is because of complete lack of respect for healthcare professionals. And look, when I say healthcare professionals, I mean everybody, these nurses, these doctors, these carers, everybody, really inclusive. And as you know, or if you don't know, nurses are currently striking, because of low pay. And what the government has said is that nurses have unrealistic expectations. The things that nurses are asking for is not possible, to have a pay rise because of XYZ. And you can see the complete dismissal of the needs, of nurses, just like carers and doctors as well. And that's why so many people are just like, look, I'm just gonna leave. And when it comes to nurses, 44,000 nurses have also left the NMC register in the last 12 months. That was data from the NMC published last year. So you can see that not only are these professions so emotionally involving, but the pay is so low, and at the end, most people are only doing it part-time. Most people are doing it because they're students. Most people are doing it because of the flexibility, because obviously you can work nights, you can work weekends, you can work around those shifts. But the reality of it is that if you're a carer in the UK, you need to be thinking about other options. You need to be thinking about plan B. If you're still out of the UK, planning to move into the UK, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to come through the carer pathway. Like I said, I have a private coaching program where I actually support carers to come to the UK through this pathway. But my intention is, once you get to the UK, you must upgrade. You must do other things. If you're already a nurse back home or you're a midwife, you need to try and get back into your midwifery. You need to try and get back into nursing. If you're already in nursing, you need to try and progress into the higher levels, not only just, to earn more, but you're going to be able to have more confidence. You're going to be able to keep on progressing, because the truth is, many of us moved to the UK because of opportunities. Like me, for example, I left my country and moved to the UK because I wanted career progression. If I didn't want career progression and all I wanted was to be a nurse, I didn't need to move to the UK, because I could have been a nurse in my own home country. So when you're here, you need to think about progressing. You need to think about excelling. You need to think about striving. And that is what, something that like I say, I'm really, really passionate about, that career progression, because it is so important. The fact that as a carer, you have the potential to earn £20,000 for the rest of your career, for me, it is so pathetic, so unacceptable, and I think it's morally and legally actually wrong, and this should not be happening. So I don't blame any carers, that are leaving. And like I say, I'm the first person to support carers to come from Africa, but the truth is, when these carers get here, I'm also very keen on supporting them to progress in their careers, to get into other professions, non-clinical jobs. Some of the carers I actually support them to get into non-clinical jobs. And look, some of these clinical jobs pay as high as £34,000, and they don't even require any degree, any experience whatsoever. So you need to be exploring these opportunities and know that, like I've said, the UK is currently short of 165,000 carers, 50,000 carers less than they were 1 year ago. So do you think they're going to stop recruiting? What are your own thoughts? I want you to leave it in the comment section. What do you think, with these number of vacancies, will they stop recruiting carers? So as you can see, there are so many reasons why many people in the UK decide to leave this profession, because look, it is not easy. And this is something that many people may not appreciate. If you're still out of the UK wanting to move through this pathway and you're thinking, oh my God, why is it so challenging? If you're saying that they have these vacancies, yes, the vacancies are there. Currently 165,000. But the truth is, there are so many factors surrounding these vacancies that it becomes very, very political and very, very challenging as well, because some of the companies are not recruiting overseas. Overseas recruitment for carers is something that is completely new in the UK. Previously, you know, recruiters were not able to recruit carers from overseas, and that's because the pay for carers is too low. £20,000 does not meet the requirement for to have a UK visa to work here, and that is why the government had to exempt carers from that pay requirement, to add it to the shortage occupation list, and that's why carers are now able to be recruited. But the truth is that the pay is just too low. Most carers have families. If you have a husband, a wife, and 2 kids, how do you live on £20,000? It is so challenging. And like I say, this is something that you don't appreciate until you've moved to the UK as a carer and you're like, oh my goodness, I see what Melvis was talking about. So please, career progression is something that you 100% need to be focusing on. Like me, I was a band one carer when I just moved. I think I was earning like 15,000 at the time, but I've been able to progress and more than triple that amount of money in my earnings. So, this is something that I urge you to do, whether you're a nurse, you're a carer, you're somebody who's got no prior healthcare experience. You need to 100% be focusing on that career progression once you step foot in the UK, because £20,000 per year is not sustainable. You're going to be broke, you're going to be suffering, you're going to be demoralized, you're going to be, you'll be unable to pay your rent and your bills. So you 100% want to make sure that you're smart when you get here, you're progressing, you're looking for those opportunities that will make you to earn more money as soon as possible, because it is not sustainable. I'm in the profession, I know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've got any experience in this, leave it in the comment section. Make sure you join my newsletter, subscribe to the channel, like the video, because it just lets me know that you actually enjoy content like this and I should do more of it. So I will let you make up your own mind. Will they stop recruiting? Will they keep on recruiting? What do you think? Thank you for watching the video and keep watching. Bye.